Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Tina Quigley joins us. She's former CEO of the RTC of Southern Nevada, and she's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are very pleased to welcome back to the program Tina Quigley. She is the former CEO of the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada. Pleasure to have you back on the program.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it. I always enjoy my conversations with you.
Thank you. You're part of this group, Restoration Nevada, that the attorney Joe Brown put together. And they have been, the various people who are part of that group have been sending all kinds of suggestions. Tell me maybe the top three of the suggestions that have piqued your interest, curiosity.
Well, I think there's a lot of conversation about the safety and health aspects of getting employees back to work. And I think, that's just such a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent. It seems everybody's top ideas are focused on how do we safely get our employees back to work. And especially for small businesses, there's a lot of talk about the need to make sure we've got an education campaign and that we really are taking care of small businesses. They've got questions about how to get employees feeling comfortable coming back to work, let alone customers feeling comfortable coming back in. There'd be different, we're gonna need to standardize procedures, but recognizing each one of the different businesses and industries are very unique. So a lot of conversation about that. I've enjoyed a conversation as well about what would they call Purchase Nevada or Buy Nevada. Conversations that when we do start up, again, let's make sure that we are taking care of our own businesses. So when we have vendors and purchasers, encouraging somehow purchasers to take a look at local businesses, manufacturing, services, whatever it is, so that we are reinvesting, using our revenues and reinvesting them right back into our state. Because as I know and everybody, we got to confront the brutal facts that Nevada is probably going to be one of the slowest states to recover. And we had Guy Hobbs on our Zoom call last week, our restoration Zoom call, and he said that Nevada's recovery looks like a Nike swoosh. We dropped significantly, and coming back is going to be a very long tail behind that drop. So in fact, he was saying that sales tax revenues at this point are the 40% reduction, and that he doesn't expect getting back to normal, or we're at about 40% of what we normally were. We won't get even to 85% of what we were before until at least end of 2021. So we got a ways to go. So to the extent that we can reinvest our dollars back into ourselves as we start to purchase and buy things, something I believe in very much and appreciate the recommendations that we've gotten. Other things that I know you've heard about as well is that maybe we let the rurals, those that have that don't have the densities of the urban areas, start to kind of create some policies for their own counties. We have had conversations about maybe we need to have, one of the ideas I liked is maybe we need one hospital that is just a non-COVID response hospital, so that we can start moving into some of our elected type surgeries that we say elected, but surgeries that are required but have been postponed due to the pandemic. So those are lots of different ideas, and we are compiling them, and we will present them in a plan that we can take to our policy leaders, whether they're local or state, just as a collaborative collection of ideas from small businesses, average people who have ideas and want the opportunity to be heard.
You've seen over the last few days, and part of it in response to Mayor Goodman's comments, a fair amount of support for actually her ideas, including from some emails that were released by the Nevada Independent that showed that former Lieutenant Governor Mark Hutchison had given support to some of her ideas. Not all of them, but some of them. Then you have the mayor of Elko saying we have 0 cases. Mining has done a terrific job of opening up and continuing to work without an outbreak of COVID. And yet, at this point, all the rules and regulations are laid out for the entire state, not treating individuals. So, you know, the rules for the Strip are the same for local casinos, are the same for Reno, the same for Elko, same for Ely. Does that really make sense to you at this point?
Well, all I can is kind of share and reflect the comments that we've been getting from the Restoration Nevada Facebook site and the meetings that we've had. And I think there's a lot of interest in having that conversation, in exploring how do we kind of tiptoe into reopening, being very sensitive where we need to be sensitive, but also in the areas where it makes the most amount of sense. You know, slowly allowing those areas and those businesses to reopen. I really feel like there's a balance. There seems to be, I think, as part of this Restoration Nevada conversation, a very balanced, responsible conversation about being tentative, moving forward. But most importantly, what people want is a plan. Let's at least start talking about it, and let's come up with a plan if we do need to delay it for purposes of determined by the health experts, fine, but start to come up with a responsible plan so people have something to work around. You know, fear of the unknown is the worst fear of all, and we are in that period of unknown. So just at least talking about a plan that is responsible and does consider all the different aspects of our state. I do believe there is not a one-size-fits-all for the entire state.
And we've seen over the last couple of days, Treasure Island, Wynn Resorts, and MGM all looking at Memorial Day weekend potentially as the opening date. Now, the governor has not given that his blessing, but do you think that that's where we're heading?
So that, I guess, personally, that's way above my pay grade. Do I think that those types of conversations, the reason that they are happening and need to happen is because we do have to start talking about dates. We do have to start announcing a date for opening requires a lot of behind the scenes preparation. So getting employees back to work and even getting shipments of food, beverage, all the supplies that you need for opening back up. I imagine the logistics associated with it is significant. So being able to plan for a date, or at least have a conversation date, is going to be important for truly opening back up. And again, not so much me, I'm reflecting a lot of and sharing with you the conversations that we're receiving on the Facebook site.
All right, let's take a break. More with Tina Quigley when we come back.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Tina Quigley. She's the former CEO of the RTC of Southern Nevada. Tina, one of the things that's been talked about for perhaps the fourth phase of government help for the country is this long-awaited infrastructure bill. As you look at that, and obviously you've looked at that deeply because that's your area of expertise, what would be your short list or even your long list of infrastructure projects you would love to see occur for Nevada?
Oh, for Nevada, the infrastructure projects that I'd like to see is not even going to be infrastructure in the traditional sense so much. I am a big believer that we need to start taking a look at technology and innovation in managing and building capacity for our roadways. And by that I mean that you can take $100 million and you can build a few miles of road with that, or you can take that $100 million and you can invest it in smart technologies that help you manage your roadway system, that increase capacity to that existing roadway system. Great example is being able to take a traffic light and a car, and if that traffic light can share information with that car and that driver, it makes that driver a more efficient driver. We get more people through those traffic signals than we would otherwise. And I love to tell the story how we in Southern Nevada have partnered with Audi. We were the first city to, if you bought a newer model, if you buy a newer model Audi, you have the ability to subscribe to what they call prime traffic. And that does give the traffic light can tell the driver how many more seconds until the light's going to turn green or red. And in fact, if you're sitting at a traffic light and it's red, and you know how many more seconds, it will tell you how many more seconds until that light's going to turn green. And sometimes we have really long traffic signals cycles in Southern Nevada. So it might be 90 seconds. But that 90 seconds tells you, I can take a bite of sandwich, I can pick up the baby's bottle up off the floor, maybe I'm going to text. But then 4 seconds before the light turns green, it alarms the driver. So head back in the game, this light's going to turn green. Because how many times have we been behind a car where there's that long lag time because their head wasn't in the game? And if you have a series of long lag times, it really takes away from the capacity of that intersection. So if we can get everybody's head in the game, we might be able to get 5 or 6 more cars through that intersection. And immediately you have just increased the capacity without having to add any more physical infrastructure. And the DOT, the Department of Transportation, is well aware of the fact that investing in innovation and technology has to be a priority, and it probably is going to be actually a pot in and of itself for competitive grants. So I applaud them for that.
You know, going back about 14 years, and this would be at the beginning of the Gibbons administration, there was discussion at the time that we needed $6 billion in transportation improvements just to get to where we needed to be at that moment, let alone planning for the future. And somebody said to me at the time that even if we had $6 billion, which we weren't going to get, you couldn't do that much work at one time because the entire roadway system would be completely shut down. So if you were going to do an infrastructure, you know, I mean, the big discussion for the last few years has been I-11 and getting that connection between Phoenix and Las Vegas, but also being able to expand it all the way into Mexico and all the way up into Canada. Is that something that's going to happen in our lifetime?
Well, I would have told you yes. I would have said yes prior to this pandemic. The way you fund infrastructure is through motor vehicle fuel tax. And the amount of VMT motor vehicle miles traveled has dropped so significantly that it's going to leave a permanent scar for a while as it relates to funding, being able to replenish that pot, both locally and federally. If we had an unlimited pot right now, where being for a Southern Nevada resident, where I would have put it was in expanding I-15 between here and Southern California. Again, I'm going to give you pre-pandemic statistics, but at any given time, about I think it's about 25% of all heads in beds in Southern Nevada came from Southern California. And of that, over 50% of them had driven here. And we had extreme congestion periods on Friday nights coming in and Sunday nights going out, to the point that we're concerned that people were going to stop deciding to come to Las Vegas for weekends because it just wasn't reasonable. And that was really scary for us at the time, the thought that we could be plateauing the amount, we would be artificially capping the number of people who wanted to come here because our infrastructure couldn't support it. Now, the conversation has changed entirely. In fact, I was just looking at the latest statistics, and the number of trips between here and Southern California has dropped by 75%. Huh. So, and I think as we start to grow back into our new normal, it will be slow. It will take a while before we'll see the number of trips that we were seeing before.
Does Southern California have any interest in expanding I-15? Because I know obviously Nevada does, but I mean, that's the bigger question.
So, what's interesting, I don't know that they had as much interest in expanding I-15, but I can tell you, so I've spent a bit of time with the train, the high-speed rail project that is actually still moving forward. The design and construction aspect of it is still moving forward. California was more excited and embracing of that project. Their leadership was. I think that even than Southern Nevada was. I think here in Southern Nevada, we've heard over and over again the iterations of the train is coming. But in California, their elected officials and their constituents really were excited about adding that capacity. And that project between Southern California and Southern Nevada. So I suppose it's the mode. I suppose the mode makes the difference for Southern California.
And Southern California, or California, has approved the bonds. Do you think Nevada is any closer to approving those bonds, at least, in the discussions?
Sure. I would say that and that's administered, I think, through the Department of Business and Industry, and I would say that they are probably overwhelmed with other issues right now, but eventually I'm sure that conversation will start up again.
All right, let's take another break and we'll be back with Tina Quigley right after this timeout.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. At Design Outdoor, we specialize in all hardscapes, pavers, and walls you'll need for everything, from wonderful small yards to full-blown outdoor living. And we only refer the best contractors to make your vision a reality. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and because I represent men in all family law matters, women often call me gender traitor, woman hater, and even disgusting. So why represent men and target myself with these offensive monikers? It's simple. Children with fathers in their lives are 6 times less likely to drop out of school, 15 times less likely to go to prison, and 5 times less likely to commit suicide. So ladies, you can hate me, but please love your children more than you hate their fathers.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Tolls development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Tina Quigley. She's the former CEO of the RTC of Southern Nevada. One of the projects that I've been excited about, it feels like for 30 years now, but was Ivanpah, and a secondary airport at Ivanpah. Do you feel that what we're going through now is pushing that off into the way distant future?
Oh, I would say so. The way Ivanpah would be funded is you would bond using revenues from the existing airport, from McCarran Airport. Of course, there are no revenues coming from McCarran Airport right now. So, the airlines are the ones in the end that end up approving the project and how those revenues are spent. It's a balance between airport management and airline management as to how airport revenues are to be allocated. So I would guess that conversation is probably halted.
One of the things that isn't being discussed right now, because we're listening to numbers people, accountants, doctors, who all have a certain structure that they operate within. And they base their projections on where we are right now. So if this is the case today, then this is going to be the case tomorrow, next month, next year. But the reality is that not only do we live in one of the most innovative nations in the world, but Nevada, and especially Las Vegas, is one of the most innovative places in the country. And it would not surprise me to see innovations coming out of this crisis that speed the recovery, not a lot faster, but a little faster than it might be otherwise.
I don't disagree with you. And I love us, Southern Nevada, for that. I was just talking to, and it's just conceptual chat right now, but UNLV, the Lee School of Business, is working with some philanthropists on probably doing an innovation challenge where there's maybe a pot of $1 million, and we go out and say, hey, give us your ideas, innovators, entrepreneurs, technologists. Start giving us some ideas as to how we deal with transportation issues, hospitality issues, gaming issues, event issues, to make the public safe. Not only make them safe, but make them feel safe, but also allow them to still engage in that crowdsource energy that you get from being in Las Vegas. So I hope that this is just a conversation at this point, but I loved hearing that because that's just so Las Vegas, right? Let's create a competition to bring out the best innovators to help solve our transportation issues and our hospitality and gaming and entertainment issues.
Well, I was speaking to Bo Bernhard from UNLV last week, and he was talking about conversations he's having with gaming students all over the world about what they're doing as far as best practices go and the ideas that they're coming up with and bringing those to Las Vegas. So I think that there's a lot of potential for improvement there. But I also think that people need hope at this time. That we're looking at a problem, a crisis that we have in our country, but this is not going to go on forever. And that the one thing we seem to be missing is the light at the end of the tunnel.
I think that's probably a universal feeling, Sam. And maybe it's up to us to find the light, right? Maybe the light isn't going to just shine right on us. It's going to take a little while to find that light. But what I love about Nevada is I think we've had to do it before, right? We've had to find our own light. We've had to create our own light. And I look forward to seeing, and I feel like we're kind of on the cusp of that. I think, and you can tell me what you think and what you're hearing otherwise, but I feel like we have accepted that this is where we are. This is where we are, and it's not fixing itself. So I do feel like we're starting to hear conversations about exactly what you're talking about, the innovation stuff, the how do we do a new business? How do we work around this? How do we just be that water that's flowing around these boulders that have been put in front of us? And we've done it before.
Well, I think Restoration Nevada, the group that you're a part of and that I am included in as well, and others around the state are generating the leadership that is needed to move forward, because you have to do that. If the people in charge are not leading, then somebody else is going to step up.
And you know what? I've had some conversations with Governor's Office of Economic Development and others. It's really tough to plan for something like that. And we as a state, we are a very lean state. And we don't necessarily have all the resources, the technology, the human bodies, the internal talent to be able to come up real quickly with a plan. So I appreciate that Governor's Office of Economic Development, again, Michael Brown, is really wants to hear from groups like Restoration Nevada on ideas. I applaud him for saying, you know what, this is bigger than us, so I really need to get out there and be listening to ideas. And that's the way you keep your government lean, right? We don't need the government to tell us everything that needs to be done, but we do need them to listen to us and then craft their ideas. So appreciate it.
And that's where we have to leave it. Thank you for doing this, and please come back again soon.
Thanks, Sam.
And we'll be right back.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
You can now watch Nevada Newsmakers on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Nevada Newsmakers and become a subscriber. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching and listening.